Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato. So today is kind of a special thing. I'm bringing back what makes a song great. And the song I want to start with is a song by a band. It's the only band that I've interviewed all three members. So you already know who it is. And if you know this chord, now that is, of course, Walking on the Moon off the Police's second record, Reggatta De Blanc. It came out in 1979. It was produced by Nigel Gray and the Police. And you cannot mistake that song for anything. This is really probably the most reggae song that the Police did as well. I have the multi-track of this, and it's really interesting to hear things that were put into the mix and things were omitted, and then you can hear the things that were done on the recording console during the mix. As Stuart Copeland talks about, there's echo that's been added to the hi-hat, and I'll solo those tracks and show you what that sounds like. So this is the original mix to start with. A lot of reverb on that cross stick. Okay, what you hear at the beginning here is basically just the three of them playing. In the very beginning, though, listen. You hear all that moving around? It's amazing that they left that in the mix. There's like a little amp buzz, and you can hear them moving around getting ready. That's how the song starts. It sounds like a live band getting ready to play. But the only elements that you hear are the three of them playing. The reverb on the cross stick, you hear that beautiful guitar chord that Andy plays here. This is a D minor 11 voicing here.
I made it into the 11th, you know,
yes.
and I put chorus on it. And suddenly it's a declaration of intent. It's so different. See, no one else was doing that. And I played, never played thirds in any of the chords. I was always, you know, the fifth and the added ninth, you know, always seconds.
Let's actually take a listen to what the tracks sound like without the original mix in there. So this is really what just the basic tracks sound like. Check it out. Hear the echoes? There's a synth in here that's not in the original mix. Listen. That comes in later. You hear the echo? The echo was recorded down the whole track, the echo on the hi-hat, and it has the snare, the cross stick in it. That's the whole track, and then they bring it in and out, so it's not really in there. And then obviously you don't hear any reverb on the cross stick because that's put on during the mixdown. Let me just solo the drums so you can kind of get a vibe for what that sounds like. You hear all that echoing there? So if I mute the echo here, let's do that. This is the original again. You hear something die out right there? Listen right there. That's Andy's sus chord there dying out. This is what's so great about these old analog recordings is people at the desk, somebody probably accidentally muted his guitar, oops, and they turned it back on. It's like, okay, well, that's the mix we're gonna go with. And if you want to hear what the individual elements sound like, let's take a listen to the bass drum, because I think it's really kind of instructive to hear things like this. That sounds like a bass drum to me that maybe doesn't have a front head on it. It's real dry, has some nice bottom end, but it's super dead sounding, like there's a pillow in there or something like that. If I take the room mics here, the overheads, you kind of get an idea for what the drums sound like in the room. What do you notice? They're all playing together. And you don't hear that rung chord. So essentially what's going on here is the band is just playing live, and Andy overdubs those chords afterwards. So Andy's part is really these 3 minor 7 chords. D minor 7, and then G minor 7, A minor 7. Listen. You can tell that those are minor seventh chords because you'll hear the roots in there occasionally, but he's really leaning on the high strings. Listen. So if I mute this part, this is what the band sounds like in the studio playing that live take. Hear the piano? That's an overdub. I'm going to mute that. But I think I can hear the piano in the original version here. Listen. Yeah, here, right there. Just doubling the bass. Let's check out the vocal entrance in the first verse. Amazing vocal performance. Sounds like the bass is chorused. I hear a delay on the vocal along with a reverb, and the delay is actually printed on the track. Here's the soloed vocal.
Giant steps are what you take, walking on the moon. I hope my leg don't break, walking on the moon. We could
Amazing.
walk forever, walking on the moon. We could be together, walking on the moon.
One of the first times that the delay is obvious on the drums is right here. Listen. Hear that? Let me isolate the hi-hat, snare, and echo. It's perfectly timed for the track. Here's Stewart talking about that exact thing.
One day in New York, we got a phone call. Okay. Guys, the money has dropped. You are now 3 very wealthy young men. We were in New York City. We went straight down to 57th Street to Manny's music store and bought everything in the store, including that Stratocaster, that Roland amp, that...
So literally things in this room you bought on that day?
Yeah. One of them was that Roland Space Echo.
Does it still work?
Probably.
Okay.
I've got, there's an app for that.
They do. They have those.
But I love looking at it. Dub reggae was a thing on the punk circuit. Little digression here. Don Letts, who was a DJ, had to play chill at the punk clubs, but there's no chill punk. It doesn't exist. Ça n'existe pas. You know, you can't. So he would play hostile dub reggae, which was chill, but suitably hostile. And what dub is where they would have a perfectly good track, but then there's something they would take out the drums, and it's just the guitar chick, 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 and then they'd have a snare, jack, tack, 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 with a reverb, you know, with a delay line on it, an echo, and they would do all kinds of trick with tracks opening up and then cutting out, and just to take all the drums, or all the drums come in for one beat with an echo on it, bop, 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 and they would have these rhythms created by the echoes, and which is great to listen to, but obviously you can't do that live. Well, that day at Manny's, our gig that night was on Long Island, in a place called My Father's Place. It was the sound check from hell, where we've all got our new toys, and the crew trying to get a sound out of the thing, but Sting's got his Taurus pedals, and Andy's got his Gizmotronics, and we're all playing with our new toys, and I had my Echo box, and you know, the drums, I already had my drums. All the toys that I bought were not drum toys; they were guitar toys, including the Space Echo. But I got, Jeff, give me a microphone. Let me put this on the snare drum. See if I can do some dub here. You know, bop 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 bop. And I found that I could create rhythm playing off the Echo, and I would create all kinds of rhythms from the Echo, and then we put it on the kick. Dun 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 dun. And he'd create these cool rhythms playing against the Echo on kick and snare and hi-hat. So we were doing that live quite a bit. By the second album, track like Reggatta De Blanc,
Yeah.
starts off with that echo
Yeah.
on the snare drum.
Yeah, yeah.
Or Walking on the Moon has that delay line. Delay line is a technical word for an echo.
Yeah.
Single repeat echo. And so that's where it came from. It came from that afternoon at Manny's. And we did it live a lot. And in the studio. So that's where the echo in Walking on the Moon came from.
The bass part is pretty basic. Listen. Really compressed. The only part that's a little different is the feel on the chorus part. Listen to it.
Some say tomorrow's another day. You stay, I may as well play.
That's pretty much it for the bass. That's the whole part. It's really just two sections. Not only is this a perfect arrangement with the bass, drums, and guitar playing together, just this great, great rhythm track, and you have this beautiful chord that Andy Summers plays that just gives it this otherworldly sound, but you also have a perfect melody and lyrics. And why is this a perfect melody? Because it's all these balanced phrases. Listen to the beginning.
Giant steps are what you take, walking on the moon.
Okay, so why is that a perfect melody? Well, if you think about this, it starts on the 5th of the chord, D minor. And that's the 11th of the chord. It gives you kind of an unsettled feeling, but then it completes the phrase and returns to the tonic. So it's really an A-B melody, or what we call antecedent and consequent. The consequent is the answer, or question and answer of that melody. So it's a perfect example of that. The next phrase.
I hope my leg don't break, walking on the moon.
Okay, there he uses a completely different note where he's going. But really what's going on there, he goes to that B flat note. It's because this guitar chord is doing G minor 7 and that B flat is right there. Walking on the moon. Bum, ba-dum. Once again, follows the chord changes that Andy Summers is playing perfectly.
I hope my leg don't
And amazing singing.
walking on the moon.
Next phrase.
We could walk forever,
Oh,
walking on the moon.
okay, there. Walking on the moon. That time it goes to the 9th of the chord. Walking on the moon. So he's using all these upper extensions. He'll use the B flat, which is really the flat 6th of the key. He uses the 9th right there. He used the 11th. These surprise tones that I asked him about when I interviewed him.
Those surprises, I call them haunting tones or upper extensions. Can you talk about that, about the use of these notes?
Well, I like the way you use the word surprise, because me, the essence of all music is surprise. When I listen to a piece of music, if I'm not surprised within the first 8 bars, I've stopped listening. I've switched off. I need surprise.
The next part of the melody that is really brilliant is the little tag that happens before it goes into the chorus. This is the last line of the verse.
We don't hardly make no sound.
Right here.
Walking on the moon.
And it lands right on the downbeat. Walking on the moon. That is perfect songwriting right there. And then it leads right into the chorus here.
Some may say, I'm wishing my days were
So,
no way. I need the surprise.
so B flat, F, C, G minor. If you can play the melody and the bass line together without anything else, you know you have a strong melody. And this melody is based around chord tones. He's using a lot of thirds On this, that's the third of the B flat to the fifth of the F, to the third of the C, to the flat 7 of the G, and there's that one passing tone, which is really an upper extension. Then leads you right back to the third on that B flat chord. Perfect chorus melody. The break after the first chorus introduces this echo that happens really on the hi-hat. You hear it mainly. And the amazing thing about it is that there's so much space in the arrangement. Listen.
I may as well
I'll put on the snare, hi-hat, and echo track so you can hear it. If I turn off the echo, but with the echo on, that really makes the song. That echo part that comes in and out is unbelievable. I mean, it really, really makes the track have this weird ambience, along with that Andy Summers chord and those choruses, the chords in the chorus. So simple, right? But the sounds and the performances are just amazing. After the second chorus, there's a long instrumental break that you have this synth that enters. It actually plays through the whole song, but it really kind of jumps out right here. Listen. So you have the echo part on the hi-hat. Listen. Here's the synth part that's going on during that. It's so subtle in there, you might not even notice it, but listen. Beautiful. As far as vocals are concerned, in the chorus, we have doubled vocals, as you can hear here.
some may say I'm wishing my days away. No way.
This just with the one vocal.
And if it's a price I pay, some say tomorrow's another day. You stay, I may as well play.
There's really very few harmonies that happen in the song. Really, the only harmonies are in the next section when he does that repeated chant, this part.
Well, keep it up. Well, keep it up. Well, keep it up. Well, keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up.
When I go back to the actual mix, listen.
Keep it up.
You hear the reverb on the vocals.
Keep it up.
Gives you that real dreamy feel.
Keep it up.
Then you have this
Keep it up.
extra voice,
Keep it up.
little chant. That chant that comes in there is really a Sting signature that he uses in a lot of songs. Let's solo it.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up.
And then in context,
Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up.
that's the song. I mean, it's really a perfect song and kind of an unlikely hit song. It was a #1 song in the UK. It was the second single off that record. And to this day, sounds as fresh as it ever sounded. Love to know your thoughts. Leave a comment, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.